yogis, I'm Meg Randazzo. Today's going to be a short and sweet yin practice. I recommend a couple of blocks. If you don't have those, then you can make do with a couple of sturdy boxes or some books. I also recommend a blanket, especially if you have sensitive knees. If you don't have a blanket, a towel would be perfectly fine, just something to cushion the knees. And thirdly, you might wish to have a strap. If you're fairly open and you're used to a yin practice, you won't need the strap. All right, so gather your belongings and let's meet on our backs on the mat. So I'm going to suggest that we start in a supported butterfly pose, laying down on our backs. Since we have the blanket handy for our knees later, I'm going to put it under my head for now. When the feet come together, knees go wide with the blocks supporting. The closer the blocks are into your body, the more supportive they are. The further away they are, just skimming the knees, the less supportive they are. So find a place that feels good to you. And start to get settled. I have an old iPad here that I'm going to use as a timer. So as we go through our different yin poses, we'll be sure that we're always the same amount of time on each side. All right, so as you start to settle into this butterfly, arms are completely up to you. Close your eyes and just allow yourself to settle. You carve this time out for you. Really make it for you. Just take a second to scan how you're doing in this moment, mind, body, and spirit. And then become very interested in the breath. Nice big inhales, filling up and expanding. Full exhales, emptying and releasing. Inhaling, you're filling up and expanding without tensing through the shoulders. Exhaling, softening. Continue to find your breath. Each breath is a little smoother than the one before it. Cultivate this rich, deep breath. Perhaps you want to set an intention for your practice today. Whatever that intention is, perhaps you check in with it every time we start a new pose or a new side. We'll take a moment at the end as well. So depending on how you're feeling, you might stay right here, or you might start slipping the blocks out from underneath of you a little bit, or maybe completely. Maybe a little deeper into the shape. According to the timer, we only have about 45 seconds left here. See if you can soften the groins, the rib cage. There's this timer. Go ahead and make your way out nice and slowly. Just use your hands to help the legs back together. You might even wish to open and close the legs a few times. A little transitional movement in between our shapes here. And then once you feel ready, pull the knees in towards the chest. And just begin circling the knees. Push the knees away with your hands, split them apart, open them up. Bring the knees back to the chest and do that again. Push the knees away, split them apart, open them up, bring them back to the chest. And then circle the other way, widening, they go away from you, and then you pull them to the chest, circle them away from you, pull them into the chest. Let's do that one more time. Circle them away from you, and then pull them into the chest. Then go ahead and set the feet down on the floor. We're going to morph this into thread the needle pose. Lots of variations. You can even saddle up to a wall if you want to put your feet on the wall here. You're going to come along with me without the wall. And take that right ankle over the left knee. This might be your pose. Perhaps you shift one of those blocks or makeshift blocks underneath the left foot. That might be good for you. Perhaps you're able to thread the needle holding on to that left leg somewhere behind the thigh or in front of the shin. If you're having really hard time with any of these variations, you can also put a strap around your thighs to help hold you into the pose. So take the one that works best for you. Either way, keep that right ankle fairly active and flexed. Just helps protect the knee. I'm setting the timer for 3 minutes now. So start to find some stillness. And it's hard to find that stillness if you've gone past your edge. So you're trying to find that edge, not too little, not too much, but the just right for you. And then if it really is just right for you and you haven't blown past an edge, then you can start to settle into that stillness. Because then the third principle here would be the time. It's a 3-minute hold. It's really hard to stay still for 3 minutes if you passed your edge. So settle into this thread the needle pose. For me, this is one of those shapes that starts out no problem, but it gets more intense as the seconds pass, as the minutes pass. You left your body, your mind just got up and left the room. Bring it back to your breath, back to the present moment, back into your body. And there's the timer. So before you untangle, we're going to bring this into a twist. So keep the thread the needle legs. Bring your left foot to the floor. I'm going to move my block out of the way. And then you're just going to let the arms go out like a T and let these thread the needle legs just kind of tilt over to the left. Right foot stamps down to the floor on the left side. I like my left hand to kind of hold that right ankle. Just kind of keeps it in place. not working out for you, you can do a traditional twist with the knees just fairly stacked. That works too. Looking for a twist. Threading your legs help give a little more opening to the outer hip and glutes with it. So this hole's going to be 3 minutes as well. So you try and find that place of just right for you. Not too much, not too little. So that you can settle into stillness. And so that you can hold the stillness for the allotted amount of time, which in this case is 3 minutes. So just make it comfortable, but with still some sensation. Right outer hip glute if you're in the thread the needle twist. If you're in a regular twist, you'll enjoy it more so in the twisting of your spine. Stay with the breath, stay in the moment. Where are you holding? And can you soften there? For me, I was holding the ribs up, tension through the shoulders, sides of the neck. So I gathered up all of that tension with my inhale. I just exhale to try to soften. We all hold tension in different places. Try and exhale out that tension. There's the timer. So come out of this in any way that feels safe to you. I kind of like to use my hands to sort of pick that right foot up and help it over, unwinding. And just come to your back, knees bent, just let them knock in, just take a second. It should feel quite different on the sides right now. Just notice that. And let's head towards side two. So throw the needle first, left ankle over the right knee. You can slide a block under the right foot if you'd like. You can use a strap around the thighs if you'd like. You can thread the needle and hold on to that right shin or behind the right thigh. Other way, you're going to keep that left ankle pretty flexed and active here. Same thing, setting my timer for 3 minutes. I know we want to be nice and balanced and even. So, finding your edge, trying to settle into stillness. I've got the time, you don't have to worry about it. Notice where you can soften. Where are you holding? Just let yourself surrender to gravity. Gravity is your friend in a yin practice. timer. But keep the thread in your legs. It's part 2 of this. And put the right foot back on the floor. I'm moving my blocks out of the way. You might need to as well. And then let these threads in your legs just go all the way over to the right. Left foot stamps down to the floor on the right side. Your right hand might hold that left ankle or top of foot. Left arm's up to you. I'm reaching it off to the left. If this isn't working out for you, do whatever twist you did on side 1. It could be a simple twist with the knees stacked. That's perfectly fine. Let's even out our time here. So another 3 minutes. The principle's right again. Find your edge. See if you can settle into stillness. I've got the time already set. Try to stay present. That breath is smooth and steady. And focusing on the breath is a good anchor to the present. And also, you can really be with the sensations that are coming up physically, and therefore might also be coming up mentally and emotionally. Just sitting with the discomfort, noticing what comes up. And also play with the eyes. Some people like them open because it keeps them in the present moment. Other people prefer to close them. I'm one of those that prefers to close them. If you're like me, make sure you're still staying present and you're not just tuning out. There's the timer. Have some compassion for your body. Help it out of the pose. Maybe your hands up. You pick that left leg up as you return to your back. Again, once you're on your back, both feet on the floor, knees bent. Let's let the knees knock together. Take a second. Just notice how the body feels. Hopefully a little more even on both sides. Once you're ready, we're going to bring it to a happy baby. But the happy baby is more of a transitional pose than it is a full yin pose today. So I'm going to move the blanket out from under my head. If you had it there, you may wish to do that as well. Bring the knees towards the shoulders, arms reach inside the legs, hands grab outside edges of the feet or the ankles, and then make the feet, the soles of them, face the ceiling. Rock a little from side to side, massage out that back body. And then come back to center. So You can get the chest pretty wide so the shoulders are on the mat. You might have to change the position of the hands to get that. Try and keep the tailbone lengthening away from your head so the backs of the hips are on the mat. And guide the knees together. You're going to find your way to tabletop pose. So just roll up and shift yourself up and over. From here, we're going to bring it to dragon pose. Sometimes it's called lizard pose. So I'm going to use my blocks. I'm grabbing those again. I'm going to put them towards the top edge of my mat for easy grabbing. And if you have a sensitive knee, you may wish to put it to the left side of your mat, and you might grab it and slide it underneath of your knee in just a second here. So back to that table pose. We're going to shift it into dragon. So bring that right knee towards the nose and bring the right foot all the way through for lunge. You might need to use your hand to help you place it so that that right knee and ankle are pretty stacked. And then you might want to slide a blanket underneath the left knee. I'm going to edge my left knee back, so I'm not right on the kneecap. Right knee and ankle are still bent. Right knee and toes are straight ahead. A few ways you can do this pose. So you can stay right here. You can have hands on floor, or on blocks, or on boxes or books. Any height that works for you. You may wish to take it a little bit wider. In other words, heel toeing that right foot over to the right, moving blocks and or hands inside the right foot. Either way, that right knee and ankle are pointing in the same direction. If this is okay, you might wish to change the blocks so that they are a little bit lower, and maybe put your forearms on the blocks. Forearms can also go on the floor as well. So pick your favorite lizard or dragon. If you know a variation and you want to take it, please do. I already started the timer. It's going to be 3 minutes, but we're already 15 seconds into that. So right toes and knee pointed in the same direction no matter which variation you're doing. This is for the legs, the groins, the inner thighs, the hips. So if you start to feel it excessively in the neck, you might need to make some changes. For example, you might wish to put your elbows on the block or a couple of blocks stacked and just put your forehead in your hands. If it's comfortable to you, you can also just let the head hang. In a yang practice or a more active yoga practice, this is a very different pose. You're more fighting gravity, rooting through the feet, but then fighting gravity with everything else. Here you're allowing yourself to sink in, to give in to gravity, to let it be your friend. There's the timer. With compassion for your body, start to make your way out. You might wish to step it back to a table and do some cat-cows. Maybe you prefer a downward facing dog, or even a child's pose. Just find a place that you can have some transitional movement. And as you're ready, it'll be side two. So bring the knees back to the floor. Move the blanket over if you were using it. Bring the left knee all the way towards the nose, left foot through for lunge. Slide the blanket underneath the right knee. Make sure you're not right on the kneecaps. You might need to kind of edge that right knee back. And then you decide how you're doing this with the blocks. You might have on either side of the leg, high blocks or low blocks. Maybe you move inside the leg with blocks, no blocks, elbows, forearms, up to you. Ideally, it matches the first side, but you know, the world is not ideal, so don't worry about it if it doesn't. And this pose is really intense, especially around the last minute there. I've already set the timer. So I know that we want to settle into stillness here, but if that is just too much for you, of course, you have the authority over your own self to come out of a pose anytime that you need to. So even though you're trying to find your edge the best you can at the beginning, it's not always that easy just to find it at the very beginning. Your edge might change as time marches on. And do your best to try and surrender to gravity and find that stillness. Time is already going. Just take this time to breathe, to be. So we're at that last minute now. So if you weren't feeling it, you know, the first minute, you probably are feeling it now. I know I am. So if it's just discomfort, try and be with it. If it's pain, just come out or adjust a little bit until the pain goes away. Discomfort, we sit with, we breathe through. Pain, we come out. There's a timer with compassion for your body. Make your way out. Whatever you did last time, or maybe you want to do something different. I'm going to slowly, creakily bring it back to downward facing dog. And as you're ready, without rushing, knees down. And you're going to let the hips come down and swing the legs out in front of you. If you would like to sit on a blanket here, feel free to do so. coming into dragonfly. In yang, it's usually called Upavishta Konasana. So, bring my iPad a little bit closer so I can set the time. We're going to fold forward. Your legs do not need to be, 180 degrees. 45 degrees is fine. And then the blocks can be used in any way you like for support. So perhaps you're sitting on the blanket. If you're not sitting on the blanket, you can also put that under your head as you fold forward. You can use your blocks to fold forward. You can even put the block under your head with your arms resting. Don't forget the block has heights. If you're pretty flexible and this isn't that big of a deal for you, you may wish to kind of wedge the block in to support your pelvis. And as you fold forward, your forehead can relax on your block. Today I have foam blocks, and that admittedly feels a little bit better on your forehead. All right, so take your pick. Any of these is perfect as long as you feel okay in it. The time has started. Find that stillness. And just settle in. So we're bringing symmetry back. So this is our last pose before Shavasana. Yogis, make your way out. Easy does it. Remember that compassion for your body. And move in any way that feels good. I generally like to bring my hands behind me, help my legs together. I just do a little flip-flopping of the legs from side to side. All right, next up on this yin train is Shavasana. I'm gonna put my blanket back up under my head. If you want to start, or I should say end, the way we started, feel free to use the blocks underneath your knees in that butterfly shape. Some people also like to put the blocks the low flat way underneath the shins. Just kind of Let's the shins spread out a little bit. Lower down, blanket under the head if you have it, or maybe if it's chilly where you are, you'd rather put the blanket over you. Arms are up to you. Begin to start at your face and soften it. With the lips and the teeth and swallow. Allow the shoulders to be heavy. Rib cage relaxed. Legs heavy. Let go. Let be. Shavasana. Yogis, I'll leave you here. Take as long as you want for Shavasana. Namaste.